My mother-in-law moved into my inherited house and acted as if she owned it. I made her stay harder than leaving. My grandmother left me her house when she passed away 2 years ago. It was a 3-bedroom place on a quiet street where I spent every summer as a kid. I cried when the lawyer read the will because I knew how much that house meant to her, and how much it meant that she trusted me with it. My husband, Dominic, and I have been renting a tiny apartment for years, so moving into the house felt like a dream. We finally had space. We finally had something that was ours, well, mine. The house was in my name only because my grandmother specifically wanted it that way. She never liked Dominic's mother, Patty, and made me promise to never let that woman set foot in her home. I kept that promise for exactly 14 months. Then Patty's landlord sold her building, and she needed somewhere to stay. Dominic asked if she could crash with us for a few weeks while she found a new place. I reminded him about my grandmother's wishes. He said his mother needed help and that it would only be temporary. I said 2 weeks maximum. Patty moved in with 6 suitcases and an attitude. On day 1, she rearranged my kitchen because she didn't like where I kept the pots. On day 2, she complained that the guest room was too small and asked if she could take the bigger bedroom down the hall, my office. I said no. She pouted and told Dominic I was being unwelcoming. On day 3, she invited her sister over without asking, and they spent 4 hours criticizing my furniture and suggesting improvements. By week 2, Patty had completely taken over. She controlled the thermostat. She decided what we watched on television. She cooked dinner every night and made comments when I didn't finish everything on my plate. She rearranged the living room twice. She hung up pictures of Dominic as a baby in the hallway without asking. She told the neighbors she lived here now like it was permanent. I asked Dominic when his mother was leaving. He said she was still looking for apartments. I asked if she had actually applied anywhere. He said she was being picky because she didn't want to end up in another bad situation. I told him the 2 weeks were almost up. He said I needed to be patient. Week 3 came, and Patty started talking about painting the walls. She said the colors were dated and depressing. She said her friend's son was a painter and could give us a good deal. I told her absolutely not. She told Dominic I was being controlling about a house that should belong to both of us since we were married. He actually asked me if maybe I was being too rigid. That was when I realized my husband wasn't going to help me, so I helped myself. I stopped making Patty comfortable. I turned the heat down at night because I liked it cold. When she complained, I said this was how I always kept the house. I started cooking dinner she didn't like, spicy dishes with ingredients she hated. When she complained, I said she was welcome to make her own meals. I reclaimed the television every evening. When she complained, I said there was a small TV in the guest room she could use. I took down her pictures and put them in a box in her room. When she complained, I said my grandmother's house needed to stay the way my grandmother wanted it. Patty called me passive-aggressive. I called myself the homeowner. Then I started being less available. I stopped driving her to the store. I stopped picking up things she needed. I stopped adjusting my schedule around her requests. When she needed something, I told her I was busy with work. When she wanted to go somewhere, I suggested she call a cab. Patty complained to Dominic constantly. She said I was freezing her out. She said I was hostile. She said she couldn't live somewhere she wasn't wanted. Dominic tried to get me to compromise. I told him his mother could leave whenever she felt unwelcome. He asked why I was being so difficult. I reminded him that 2 weeks had turned into 2 months, and his mother still hadn't applied to a single apartment. I told him either she left, or I would start charging her rent at market rate. Patty found an apartment within 10 days. She moved out on a Saturday and didn't say goodbye to me. Dominic was upset for a while. He said I handled the situation poorly. I told him I handled it the only way that worked, since asking nicely did nothing. His mother lived 30 minutes away now and visited exactly once a month. My grandmother's house stayed exactly how my grandmother wanted it.